plants. Remember from your projects, they kind of huddle they grow in clumps so they can try to stay warm. Some of them will have those really bright colored flowers so they can attract the sun, and the flowers will be shaped to help trap the sunlight in them. You find these around the North Pole, okay, where they'll be very cold, very little light for long periods of time. Then they'll be, in the brief summer, you'll have 24-hour days. And you can also have an alpine tundra, okay, which is just at high elevations. And so all of these biomes combined, remember, make up the biosphere. So we can have imbalance in these ecosystems. You can have an anthropogenic imbalance, which would be a man-made imbalance. Human impact, which is a large amount of our problems that we have in our ecosystems, our imbalances in our ecosystems, as well as a non-anthropogenic, let's see if I can spell, anthropogenic impact. And so that would obviously be a natural state. And so this may just be a natural consequence of resource availability or natural phenomena that's happening. Okay, let's look at some impact on this is where we'll look at closer at the oligotrophic versus a eutrophic, and we'll be all set. So the first impact example we'll look at here is our oligotrophic. And so this is a lake, obviously this is a freshwater biome here, and oligotrophic waters are due to a low primary productivity. Okay, and so they're usually very, very clear. They'll have very low, these are a result of a low nutrient content. Okay, so I've got a low primary productivity here. Again, they'll be very clear, they look very pretty, usually high quality drinking water here. Because they're so clear, light's able to penetrate, so the lake bottom may have lots of oxygen in it. Okay, as the light is able to penetrate, and so organisms down there are able to do photosynthesis. So maybe it'll support species because of the oxygen level that's down at the bottom, as opposed to only at the top, near the top of the lake. Okay, where your eutrophication is going to be the opposite of this. So our eutrophication is going to be due to a high primary productivity. Remember, this is usually due to a high nutrient content. A lot of times this is a man-made thing, usually runoff from farms, agricultural areas. So there's a large increase in phosphorus, large increase in nitrogen. And so this allows for a bloom in the phytoplankton, the producers. So these phytoplankton, these producers, there may be a bloom in the algae. You can see that here, how this lake looks kind of looks cloudy and gross and covered in what looks like algae slime. Right? And so at first you may think that's great. There's lots of nutrients in the water. That's a wonderful thing. But as these producers grow and they bloom out of control, eventually they have to die. And when they die, they sink to the bottom and they begin the process of decay. And when the bacteria are breaking them down in the decomposition process, they are consuming oxygen. And so as you can see here, it's removing oxygen from the water. And so this can result in other species, other organisms dying due to a lack of oxygen. You can create a hypoxic environment, and so there's a lack of oxygen, and so the other organisms are unable to survive. Okay, so this is our last ecology video, okay, and then we'll be moving on to evolution.